This woman looked at me and said, oh no, if you don't have the full amount, we're not going to do payments plan. She's saying this like I'm just some random person asking her. Like I'm not the wife of her son.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing? Yeah, it's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is the part 3 of the story time of the woman that was sharing how to get married and divorced in a year, African style, or will I say Nigeria style. If you are not catching up with the story, go check out the part 1, part 2. This is the part 3, okay? So we're going to check out the remaining part of the story, what she has to say. So this is a sister. She's a Nigerian American, and she got married to also a Nigerian man. But in less than a year into the marriage, a lot of things was going down because of the man's family, her husband's family. The husband's family did not like the fact that she was a rapper, that she wants to be an aspire rapper and even come back to Nigeria. They didn't like the fact that she exposed a lot of her body on social media. They didn't like the fact that a whole lot of things. She asked for them to help her with accommodation. She asked for them to help her with car and the whole drama. Go check out part 1, part 2, so that you can catch up with this part. This is the part 3. So we're going to check out the remaining part of the story. Then I'll come back and still share more of my thoughts on the story as the story develops. But yeah, this is a blind reaction. I don't even know what the story is in front about. So let's go check it out. And then let me know where you're from, like where you watch me from. I also want to know that. So go down and share where you're from. I love to know where you guys are from, okay? So you can put your country flag at the side of it, your state, and wherever you feel comfortable sharing, okay?
Okay, so I left off on where at this point now with this car thing, I'm like, you know what? I'm willing to buy the car and do it monthly. The mom didn't just say no to me. And before we get to the actually saying no, let me break down the scenarios and the situation that happened. So as I'm on the highway, I told you guys I was stranded. So in Nigeria, I didn't have like I have a Wi-Fi thing. I didn't have my phone services. I had like the Wi-Fi because I didn't really want to go buy a phone. Like I had 2 phones. I just bought the MTN Wi-Fi thing. I was using WhatsApp. It was dope. Like everything was fine. But now, as we're stranded on the highway, my battery is dying. I don't have service anymore. Like my MTN is dying. Like I probably had like maybe 10 minutes. The mom called me on the phone and she's trying to like talk to me about going to the car dealership that she owns. And there's where she puts cars in Lagos, where I am. In Lagos. She not told me that she had car places in Lagos that she could have sent my black ass to go get car. It was since in Ibadan. Okay, people. So she's talking to me on the phone. I'm like, listen, auntie, my phone is going to die. Here is my manager's number. Please call that number and talk to him because my phone is going to die. Let me talk to you through his phone. Call this number. So my phone dies. In the middle of our conversation, phone dies. She calls my manager. My manager picks up and I take the phone. I'm talking to her. She's like, okay, go to this car dealership place over there. I have cars on a lot. Go pick out a car over there and go take a car. I'm like, okay, this whole time now, this is 2 weeks. It's been almost 2+ weeks at this time. I went around beginning of November. Yeah, around that time. I want to say that. No, ended because I went to Thanksgiving here. Okay, so right after Thanksgiving is when I left. So it's been like 2 now, going on 3 weeks. I've been now waiting and all the shows I missed, money I've missed out on. And now she tells me that she has a car dealership in Lagos that I can go pick out a car. Okay. So we get to Lagos, where the car place is. I'm on the phone with her, talking to her. And I'm like, okay, maybe they really think like they have money and they think I'm a money hungry bitch that came to take their money. I'm like, okay, let me at least do, because again, I told you that I'm making like $12,000 a month. After I pay bills back in America, I have about $7,000 to $8,000 cash on hand. So I can at least make monthly payments, even if it's just to pay them while I have the car. And then when I leave for Nigeria, it'll be my husband's and I's car in Nigeria whenever we come into Lagos. So I asked her, I'm like, okay, auntie, don't worry. Let me just buy the car. I didn't want them. Because the thing I knew when I was going in, knowing that I was marrying into a successful family, is I didn't come for money, but I have dignity and self-respect. I have never in my fucking life been a handout bitch. Ever. Anybody that knows me knows. When I left home at 18, my parents could only afford to give me $200. I worked. I fucking worked my ass off. I did so many fucking jobs while still going to school, playing volleyball, going to college, getting 3 engineering degrees. I was taking care of my motherfucking self. No handouts. When my parents' house burned out in New Jersey and my older sister, that's another story. I was the one who took my whole savings and put them in an apartment. I did it myself. I've never been a handout bitch. My people, I'm so sorry. I don't know what the fuck that was that happened. It just went silent. I'm gonna repost part 8. Continuing. So this is where I left off. I was telling you guys how I've never been a handout bitch in my life. So I asked her, I was like, you know what, auntie, don't worry. I want to buy the car. I'll do a monthly payment. This woman looked at me and said, oh no, if you don't have the full amount, we're not going to do payments plan. She's saying this like I'm just some random person asking her. Like I'm not the wife of her son. Like, this shit blew my mind. I'm like, what? Is this like, am I having the same conversation? I said, I'm willing to pay for it. She said, no, if I wasn't going to pay the full amount, they weren't going to give me a car. So now at this point, I'm like, I said, okay, no problem. We ended up getting a car ride back to the house in Lagos. I just called my husband. I'm like, this is what's going on. Like, how can your mom not let me at least do a payment plan for a car? He's like, oh, that's her business. That's how she moves. She doesn't want to, she's not going to want to do that. And he's just validating it and justifying it. You guys, and I tell you, my husband really showed me Pepe. It doesn't matter if it's 3 months or 10 years at this. If I dated him, I'm still happy I did this. But in that situation, I blocked them. I had to block him because I realized, like, this man would drive me crazy. I blocked them. I call my parents. I tell them, listen, that wedding you guys are planning in the village, cancel I no go be there. Me, my feet, cross cancel I said, mommy and daddy, something is going on with this family. And I'm dramatic. Mean in the sense of like, I've always been the one who calls out shit. African culture always has this thing where they just want to put everything on everybody always is fake and miserable, and it's always to show face. And my mom is just so fucking determined because of a useless goat that I am in her eyes to show off to everybody. And I'm like, mom, I'm not going to that wedding. You people can go marry each other, but me, my dignity, I may not have money come reach their level, but I have dignity. I know my fucking self. Oh, it's not me and them. My people, I tell my parents, it won't happen. I can't go. I can't do it. I cannot. I refuse all of the above. They're like, no, you have to come. My older sister even called me to threaten me, like, how I'm an embarrassment to the family. How can I do this? That, like, I know the whole family's out there. Like, I'm speaking Japanese to all these motherfuckers. No one's listening to me. I'm speaking Chinese. I'm speaking Arabic. I'm not speaking Igbo or English. No one can hear me. I left them. I hung up my phone. I blocked everybody for the day. I went to my house to sleep because you will not stress me. You will not stress me. I came to Nigeria to do something. And it's not me and you people. You won't ruin my plans. You won't ruin my plans. I went to sleep. I woke up the next day. I unblocked my husband. We're still early in the marriage. So I'm like, let me refocus. And maybe the nigga was hearing me in Chinese yesterday, but I don't slept. I don't woke up. Now let me speak English. He calls me and tells me, that he spoke to his mom. And did I tell his mom that, the way he described it to me, again, I don't want to know if that's verbatim what she said, but how he described it to me is that his mom told him that when I was, that the day before, that day, that I told her to talk to my manager from here on out. And like the way I did it was because I'm a rapper and I'm like, I think I'm so good. Like I don't want to deal with her anymore. And I told her to continue to talk to my manager. My people, I never said that. This woman, I told her, okay. I took my fucking ass home and went to bed. When did I say that? I called my manager. I said, what? I said to my husband, I said, right now, call my manager. God, he wouldn't call my manager. I said, before God and man, I never said that. Why would she say this about me? It was like she was trying to paint me out to think like, because I'm from America, like the way I'm 6 feet. Yes, I'm a scary bitch. And I know I'm with, like me, I don't like bullies. And you could tell my energy is real ferocious. You feel me? But to easily try to paint me, because yes, I'm the tatted up girl, the rapper girl. It's easy to paint me in Nigerian customers like just being like in America, and they call them Americans. So they call them akata, which is basically like, I don't even know how to explain it. Just know it's derogatory. It's the same shit as nigga. Okay, it's akata, it's nigga, and that's how she paints me to be. And I told my husband, I said, "Are you mad? Is it madness? Has it come? Me, a homie would tell your mother that." And he's like, "Oh no, you know, he just wanted to know." I said, "For you to even open your mouth, I blocked them again, cause I see now is I think this man. I've always been mean since you got into this marriage. I don't play no sense, my people. This car, come back, cause I'm telling you, I got the car. But now, let me tell you guys how I got this car. After this, come back, part 8. I mean, part 9 is coming. Okay, guys, you guys are going to kill me the way you be attacking me in these comments. Make sure all these videos go popping, so as an independent artist, I can make some money off TikTok before they ban this bitch. So, repost, support, tell people you know. Okay, anyway, last time I left off telling you guys about the car and where we were with the car. I told you about how the family wouldn't let me, or the mom wouldn't let me at least, you know, do a payment plan for a car, because apparently their dealership is different than the one in America here, and Toyota to let me pay for my car. They're stupid. Anyway, so now let's get to the next part of this. I wish this situation stopped at just this, the disrespect or the disregard stopped at just this level. It did not, my people. It continued. So finally, they call me and they say they got a car. Now, I told you guys, my manager and I are pretty connected, so we could get registration done in 24 hours. I didn't have time for them to wait another week, as I've already missed shows. Let me tell you guys, I was supposed to open for Charlie Poppy and Odumodo. I was their opening artist. Missed it because I could not find, like, by the time I got my ride, the guy who's borrowing me a car to come, I missed the fucking show. I've moved on. I've released that anger. I've released it. It's no longer a part of me. So let me tell the story with no emotion. Okay. So when they finally reach out to me and they're like, "Oh, we got you a car. The car is ready." My manager's like, "Okay, bet. Give us the information. Let's go ahead and get the car registered and get all the stickers or whatever." And then they tell my manager that they need the car to be put in my husband's name. Make sure that the car was in my husband's name. I'm like, what? My husband is in America. I'm driving the car in Nigeria. So if I got pulled over, the registration really should be in my name, right? Because I'm the one that's there and he's not there. They were like, "Oh yeah, they're very insistent on making sure the car is put in my husband's name." I said, Jesus, do these people think I'm trying to, you know, like I'm trying to rob them of the fucking car or something? I asked my manager, I said, "Please send me a picture." I'm thinking, okay, maybe they sent a G-Wagon. Maybe they sent me, I don't know, maybe they sent the big body Range, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they really said, after all this shit we put this girl in, let's at least send her off right. No, they sent me a 2009 Toyota, what the fuck is can't even remember the fucking name. It's just the one that has the tire hump in the back. 2009. Y'all, I drive a 2023 brand new VIP custom Prius here in America that I bought myself. Okay, so they doing all this off of the pressure of a 2009 Toyota. I don't know what the fuck that this car is called, but I'm gonna put a picture of the car so you guys can understand what I'm talking about.
Is it raw? Yeah.
I'm gonna put the picture up. Y'all, it was like slap of like disrespect. I was like, I called my husband, I was like, why are they being so insistent on putting your name on the registration of the car? Like, babe, you're not even here. Like, I'm the one driving this car. My manager and I are gonna be driving this car. Like, it's just gonna be like, he's like, "Oh yeah, they just want to put it in my name." Like, and I'm like, yo, my husband is really not understanding. Like, oh my God, the anger I have when I think about the situation, I block him again. Because I'm like, yo, this dude is really like, I'm starting to see really major red flags on like my husband and how it comes to his family. And the fact that like, it just seems like anything I tell him, anything anything that confirms his family, he always has a validation for their behavior. And has an excuse for what they're doing. And he can't even see the wrong in what they're doing. Like, he can't, like, it just seems like I'm an annoying nuisance, just complaining. Like, everything I'm telling him that's going on seems very, like, normal. Seems very, like, yeah, what do you mean? This is just who they are. This is just normal. What do you mean? People don't act like this for you? And I'm like, no, like, this isn't right. This is so fucked up. My people, we continue the story. So, my manager goes ahead, gets the car registered. We get the license plates. We get everything registered. We go out to Ibadan. Again, remember, I'm telling you guys, I have missed shows. I've missed out on money. I've missed out on so much fucking shit because of this car thing. So now, just to go pick up the car. Now, I have to go pick up the car, which is another, like, whole day missed because I have to get out of Lagos, go all the way to Ibadan, which is, like, the sub-city. So we go pick up the car. When we get the car, we come back. The car is fine at first. The car seems good. I'm like, at least we finally have a car. We're moving. Then we get back to the house. We notice the car doors don't lock. We noticed that the car, like, we had to go fix the gas tank because it was leaking. Like, I spent, like, they gave me the car, and I spent another, like, $200, $300 to fix the car. And it took me another 2-3 days of getting the car fixed, getting tires for the car. Like, I did a lot for that car. And at that point, I really didn't have, like, I don't think I finished. I didn't have the energy to even go back and forth and just complain about the fact that the car was messed up, to complain about the fact that, oh, the car wasn't working, all of this shit. None of it mattered. None of it mattered. I just said, you know what, just shut the fuck up and just fix the car. Just focus on what you went there for. At least you have transportation. So we fixed it and kept pushing. So now we get to where everything just took a left turn. So I had to go to Ibadan, their city where they are, because I'm on radio press. So I had to go to Ibadan where they were to do a radio interview for one of the biggest radio stations over there in Ibadan. And I'm forgetting the name right now, but once I remember it, I'll put it in here. And I call and let them know, hey, I'm coming into Ibadan. I'm going to be on this radio station. I'm like excited. I'm like, again, I'm thinking this is my family. This is my peoples. Let me, just let them know that I would be on the radio in the evening, like around 5:30 or something like that, like letting them know. And this is after business hours for them. So, like, there's no problem. And they listen to the radio anyway, so they could, tune in. So we get in the car. We start driving out to Ibadan. And I told you guys I fixed, like, little things about the car. And we get on the highway. We're right on the highway. We're an hour out. Actually, yeah, we're about an hour out into Ibadan. The car stops. Boom. Stops us. Overheats. Done. And you guys remember, this is not America. There's no AAA. There's no nothing. I'm just in the middle of the fucking road. Just like on the highway, Ibadan Expressway. I don't stop. Can't stop me. My manager and my team is out there. We're in the fucking blazing heat of Nigeria. Just stuck on the side of the road. Exhausting. So, y'all, I'm on the side of the road. We call a mechanic. Like, there's a way, like, my manager walks and finds a mechanic, like, on the side of the road. They sometimes have people who know how to fix cars. So they get the guy. He has a little mechanic shop. He comes in, and he's looking at the car. He's like, yo, your engine is really, really bad. And, like, he's like, there's some coolant thing that's supposed to be connected to the engine. It wasn't there. There was nothing. It wasn't there. Like, there wasn't no thing connected to the car. And then the guy's, like, looking at the parts. He's like, hey, like, you should not be driving this car. Like, I don't know all the terminology of the things that he said was wrong. Well, he was essentially saying that the car wasn't drivable, and he doesn't know why I'm trying to do long distance from Lagos to Ibadan. Like, this car cannot even make it past just going right down the street. At this point, I knew it was sabotage. They were sabotaging me. Like, I knew it was sabotage. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I call my husband. I'm, like, going to fuck off. Because I'm like, wow, like, let me tell you why I know these people. Like, this is some sabotage shit. I knew they would not put my my husband or any of the kids in this kind of car. I see the kind of car they ride around with in their own house. They did not give a fuck about me as a human being. Fuck who I am. As a person, I was worthless. Because what happened next shows me how worthless they thought I was of a person. So I reach out to the mom. I'm calling the dad. No one's answering. So I call, actually no, the mom answered. And I tell her, hey mom, like, I'm out here on the side of the road. The car stopped me. I said, mommy, listen, like, something is wrong with this car. The mechanic guy who's here trying to help us at least maintain it said this car shouldn't be on the road. There's all these things missing. I said, and the whole time she's been telling me like, oh, the car's at the mechanic getting fixed before we were getting the registration. I said, okay, so who's the mechanic that fixed the car? Like this, like go get your money back. I'm pissed for them because now I'm thinking like they didn't do this shit on purpose. It's probably the mechanic person, like you know how Nigerians be rubbing people. She's like, oh man, I'm almost out, y'all. Just come back for part 10. I'm so sorry. Just know, they ended up trying to kill me. I want to tell you guys a story of how I almost died on this shit because I forgot to please just bear with me. Okay. So when I left off talking to you guys, I was telling you about how at this point I was stuck on the highway, Ibadan Express Highway. I call his mom. I'm mad for them because I'm feeling like they got robbed. They got played with by the mechanics in Nigeria because Nigerian mechanics, they play sometimes, So I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm pissed. I'm like, who's the mechanic's name? I'm ready to go American style to fuck off on this mechanic. And before I even give you her response, I just want you guys to know that through this whole process, right, the mom isn't talking to me anymore. Like, I haven't had one conversation with her. She only talks to my manager. She doesn't talk to me anymore. She doesn't call me. She doesn't text me. So me reaching out to her is because I'm stuck on the highway. At this point, I'm kind of like scared. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm scared of this woman. I'm scared because one, I already have a mother who treats me like shit. So I don't really have the strength to have two who are already on my ass. I don't have strength. And I'm just trying my best because it's like, I feel like maybe she's that way with me because she feels like I'm trying to hurt her son and she doesn't even know how much I love her son and I want the best for this guy. So I'm just kind of like, everything inside of me of how I would have reacted, which is going off, which is addressing the situation, I reserve myself. And she only spoke to my manager. So I was like, okay, at least there's communication. She don't want to talk to me. I'm getting the feeling that she really don't want to fuck with me. So let me just leave it alone. So then she tells me, getting back to the conversation where I'm like, okay, what's going on with the car? This is all the issues. She tells me, we only check the engine and make sure the ignition worked, like the start engine worked. That's the only thing we checked in that car, and then we washed it and sent it to you. I said, huh? I said, mommy, you only checked the engine? Did you check if the car was safe enough for me to ride in? She said it was good, as the mechanic said it was good. I said, okay. I didn't even feel like going back and forth with her. At this point, it's like, it just seemed like, I want you guys to know that this whole time everything is going on, I feel like I'm fucking crazy. I feel like I'm losing my motherfucking mind. I feel like I'm in a movie, because I keep telling my manager, thank God my manager is here through this whole time. So, it's not even, one thing I'm saying, anybody can come and say I'm lying, because the whole time this is going on, my team is looking at me. My manager's looking at me he's like, what? I said, what kind of family is this? Are you sure? You guys, I'm sitting on the highway. I call my husband. I'm crying at this point. I'm exhausted. I'm hot. I'm bothered. I have an interview. I'm about to miss my interview, and it's a big interview. I am mentally exhausted at this point. I didn't know what to do anymore. So the mom, my manager calls the driver who came and picked me up from the airport, their driver. And then I call my sister-in-law, my husband's brother's wife, and I tell her what's going on. She's like, okay, she's going to call her husband, let him know what's going on. She's going to call the mom and tell them so they can send a car to come get me, a tow truck to come get me. So I'm sitting on the side of the highway. I'm exhausted. My husband, I don't want to talk to him anymore. I tell him to talk to my manager. I don't want to talk no more. I don't know what's going on. And the thing that's so upsetting is every time I get on the fucking phone and tell him, like, this is not right. Your mom and dad gave me a car that all they checked was that if the ignition, if the car started. They didn't even want to know if everything in the car worked. Like, they would not put themselves, your sisters, in this kind of fucking car and put them in this kind of danger. And like, the sun is going down now, right? And we have, like, some random police car pull up. And they're there. Thank God they came through, and they were telling us, hey, you guys need to move. You can't be here when it gets dark. This is very dangerous. I am scared, alone, hot, all of the fucking above, y'all. All of the fucking above is what I am feeling at this moment by myself. My little sister calls me on FaceTime, and I'm telling her what's going on. I'm like, listen, sis, like, I can't do this wedding. I can't do it. My little sister is like the only person, my baby sister, last born, is the only person who had the mental composition to understand. She gets pissed. She's like, what's going on? Like, why are they treating my sister like this? What? She gets pissed. She's like mad for me. I like to tell her, no, I'm gonna call you later. So now we wait. I'm waiting. I'm hitting the dad up. I'm like just trying to figure out where to, because now the car person is taking forever to get there. I have my interview. Ah, my goodness. I'm so mentally exhausted. So anyway, the so-called tow truck they brought for me, right, comes and arrives. Because, again, I told you guys I almost died. I got into a car accident. Let me show you. Let me show you the tow truck they brought to take me to this. I'm going to add it in here. Cool. So now they bring this truck. This truck has ropes. 2 ropes. They attach 2 ropes to the fucking car. These are people who are like running companies, like big companies, not small ones. And the tow truck they had were 2 ropes to attach to the car and drag me down Ibadan Expressway while me and my team are sitting in the car. And as we're being dragged, my sister has the rope cut. Mind you, the brake doesn't work. Nothing works on the car. The car scoots off the highway. On Ibadan highway, it's kind of like hilly. If you were to like hit the edge, you can fall off. My people, the car went off the highway. And I'm telling you guys this highway because the highway isn't an empty highway. There's trucks, and Nigerian driving is not American driving. They don't stay in their lanes. I'm telling you, this is how I know the universe loves me. Because when this car, the rope broke and we skirted off the highway heading for the edge of the highway, going into the fucking mountains to fall over, I'm in tears. I'm just like, all I'm thinking about is, wow, this is how I die. Because I loved someone and they apparently really hated me this much. And I'm in tears crying. And I'm just like, wow. So the car stops and it hits like a divider thing. I get out the car. I like run out on the side of the road. I said, I'm not going anymore. I'm not going. I'm willing to get in the back of that pickup truck, whatever. I'm not going in back in that car. I called my husband thinking I was recording this video. I'm going to also add the recording here for you guys to see. I'm recording the video and I'm like sending it to my husband. This is how your family came to get me. My life. They didn't give, like, you cannot convince me that they actually gave a flying fuck about me with what happened. It gets worse. So now we are on the side of the road. I sent the video to his mom and his dad and his sister-in-law because I'm thinking like, I still feel like they think I'm just dramatic in what I'm saying. So I said, I just got into a car accident. I sent the video of the car accident. I said, what's going on to them? I sent it on WhatsApp, right? On WhatsApp, you can see when someone watches your video, read your messages, it gives you the blue checks, whatever. I see them all watch the video, look at the pictures. No one texted me back. No one messaged me back. No one called me. They just ignored me. I'm on the side of the road crying. My manager is trying to soothe me. I'm mentally exhausted. I pick myself up because, bitch, One thing I've learned in this life is you ain't nobody gonna do it for you, sis. You gotta do it your fucking self. I said, nah, this is what they want. They want to see me fall to the floor and break the fuck down. I said, nah, I hopped in a pickup truck with my manager, with my peoples. We got to Ibadan. I soon called Uber, go to my fucking radio interview. Did my radio interview, begged the Uber out, pay him, take me to Ibadan, take me back to Lagos immediately. Immediately. Come back, because now you see, after I left that, I will tell you guys what happened, how these people tried to flip it on me. What?
I'm really interested to hear what's going on. But so far, go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. I don't know why I'm so invested in this story, but it's so long. Hopefully, so there's going to be a part four, guys. I'm sorry. There's going to be a part four. This is already like so long. So there's going to be a part four, which I'm not going to like the next 2-3 hours. I'm going to roll the part four out. But I really want to know the other part of the story. But there are also some things in this video that I also want to clear up here. It's so interesting that she said she did some part of her life in Nigeria here, and there are some things that seem strange to her, which I'm going to clear up. One, she talking about how the word, I need to address that part, but the word akata, I've addressed this thing on this channel before. I know the African Americans see it as a derogatory word, and I understand why they will see it that way, because obviously the Nigerians there in the US are using it as an insult and as a derogatory word on them. But I've addressed this issue. Akata is a slang used, but the actual meaning of the word akata means wildcat. So akata is a word in the Yoruba land called wildcat, but also is a general slang in Nigeria, just the same way Nigeria have the slang called Oyibo for white people. Akata is black people that lives abroad. You could even be in Nigeria that live abroad, especially in the US. They call them akata. Especially even people in the UK, they call them akata, but especially people in the US, whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're African American, those of us in Nigeria, yeah, we usually call akata, like that one akata, meaning somebody that lives abroad, like one of our own that lives abroad is called akata. And because of how the Nigeria system, which I talked about in the first part of the video, talking about how Nigeria, the second part of the video, talking about how Nigeria conserve families, and people usually see that anybody raised in America as disrespectful, as they don't have respect, as and all that. So I personally, I feel like that's where the whole slang thing come from. Like, oh, akata, like these ones, they are wild, they will do anything and anything, but not in a derogatory way. It's a slang. Like if I go abroad now and I live abroad for a couple of years, I come back, they will call me akata. And but I understand why a lot of African American associate that word as a derogatory word, is because Nigerians abroad use it as a derogatory word. I feel like they came here, they heard us call them akata, and they took it there and tried to use it in the negative light. So that I really want to clear up. I've addressed this thing already on this channel before, but I just feel like we're all learning. Like I don't think I've used the word lately. In fact, the part that I realized that some people see it as a derogatory word, but this is something that it's a word just the same way we call white people Oyibo. We even sometimes if we call black people that are white saints that kind of try to do things like white people, we'll call them Oyibo too. Even if you are very, very fair, you're very, very light, we'll call you Oyibo. So yeah, that I want to clear. So some of the things she was saying, it just makes me like, okay, you lived in Nigeria before, so there are some things that you should know. Her talking about how the mother refused to give her the car on instrumental payment here in Nigeria is cash and carry. Nobody does instrumental payment. It's really hard. It's even now that some companies are coming up with instrumental payment plan and all that. But even before they will do that, they are going to check your salary and write your company. And there's a whole lot of process that goes into making instrumental. So yeah, in Nigeria, if you want to buy anything, you need to save up your money like over time before you can buy it, because nobody's going to do buy now pay later. Nobody does it in Nigeria. So that is another thing. So I don't know why she's surprised that she will not, especially the fact that the value of naira usually depreciates every other day. So it's not even wise for any business to do instrumental plan in Nigeria. You're going to run at loss. So that's aside. Then her talking about how the paper name should be in her husband's name. I don't know them. I don't know, because she didn't give into full detail. For you to do your paper registration and all that, you need some Nigeria identification, like your passport, your NIN. If it's just last year, NIN is a very big part. So for you to do all that, you need NIN and all that. I'm even talking about in the legal what is required for the documentation. And if you don't have the NIN, which is the national identification, I don't even know the full word, but anyway, it's popularly called NIN here in Nigeria. If you don't have it here in Nigeria, it's basically like you can't do anything. You can't open a bank account. You can't really do anything. You need to have it as in Nigeria. So I don't know if she has that. And then I'm not trying to defend the husband's family for trying to make the husband's a name on the vehicle, but it's just what the husband's family, from the African family that I know, it will actually make sense for them to put it in their son's name, because first, they've not paid your bride price. So you and your husband might have gotten married legally in the American system, but to them, you're still their son's girlfriend. They've not paid your bride price. So most times, most family don't really consider you as a wife except they've paid your bride price. So that kind of makes sense why they would do that. Then I feel a little bit attacked when she talked about the RAFO 2009. A lot of people in Nigeria, and I get it. She said the husband's family comes from money, the husband comes from money and all that. But a lot of people drive very old car. Like I myself, I drive a 2000 and, is it 2008 car? That's what I drive, because it's because you will have to buy afford like cash and carry. You have to go with what your money can carry, what your money can buy, what's more affordable. So you can buy the latest 2020. No. So how trying to throw shade at a 2009 a RAV4? That's a car. Like that is a value car here in Nigeria that anybody will be happy to have. So I don't know why she do that. I know like this particular part of the video is almost like I'm coming for her, but I just really want to clear some of the things. So another thing is that she talking about how the car was stolen. I'm not trying to defend your husband's family. They were wrong, but if I were herself, I would have just ignored them and try to do my things without them. But another thing, she's talking about the tow van they sent to pick up the car. See, like I said, I have a 2008 car, okay, which is old, raggedy, and all that. But it takes me from point A to point B, and I'm not complaining, but sometimes these cars just happen. Probably because they are old models, I don't know. But sometimes this thing happen. A scary thing, like multiple times this thing has happened to me. I've been driving on a very popular bridge called the Third Mainland Bridge on my car in the middle of the night, and my car automatically just shut down, like literally shut down. No lights, nothing. The car just shut down. It was just God that helped me, because I was with some friends. If a car was coming behind us with the speed, that could have just been something. And I wasn't the one driving. It was a friend of mine that was driving. So thank God she has good control. She just went to the side of the road. So anything could have happened. I've been driving a car, like my car, I've been driving it, and 1 minute it just started overheating. And by the time they took it to the mechanic, they opened it, and a lot of things was gone. So in so many occasions, sometimes when you like, I personally, I know I've had a lot of car issues that have stressed me out. So I kind of get where I won't stress, especially when you're at side of the road. It has happened to me so many times, and I was just crying, shouting, and all that. I get it. So maybe probably that's why we go through that. And for us, Nigeria, it's a normal occurrence for us for our car to just break down and all that, because most of us use old modern cars, and it's fine. Then talking about the and then most of the mechanic here in Nigeria are just trying to, you know how they do it in Nigeria. I like that she came back in the other part to say that some mechanic, yes, it's some people, like we have good and bad people everywhere in the world, but when it comes to Nigeria, the mechanic, especially when you don't take the car, which most Nigerians don't take their car to a proper dealership to fix. No, we use a mechanic, and most times, most of this mechanic, they do kind of try and error, especially when they don't know what's going on. In my own personal opinion, because sometimes they will say, "Oh, is this thing that is bad?" They will fix it, and yet you still be getting the same problem. They'll say, "Oh no, it's the pipe and all that." So sometimes that, and sometimes some of them. I remember my car when they told me my car was okay. I was like, "This car is faulty. There's something wrong with the car." The guy was like, "No." I was like, "The car is shaking." The guy was like, "Ah, no, nah, I drove the car. There's nothing wrong with your car." A lot of this mechanic will tell you. So if the parents gave the car to the mechanic and the mechanic said everything is fine, they will take their word for it. They'll take his word for it. Yeah, except you're very picky and all that. So that's one. Then her talking about how the rope they use to come and tow a vehicle. This is a normal thing. Like I said, I've had multiple car issues, and my car has been towed multiple times. That is the basic, like the normal way. I know it may not be normal to people in the Western world, in the US, like that, but if you want it done chap chap that will cost you less money, you just need a heavier car that they will tie a strong rope on, and then they will pull you. But if you now want, most times, most people that have tow vans, usually those last mile in Lagos, they have tow truck because they do. But sometimes for you to get tow truck, it can get very, very pricey here in Nigeria. So I personally, if I'm in a tight situation, which in one situation I was, I had like pay the tow truck, let the tow truck come and let me go, leave this place. So I get it. So it wasn't something that was done intentionally. Like I don't think it was something they did intentionally, because these things are normal, and probably that is why they did not even respond to our message, because they're just like, what is she complaining about? Because this is a normal thing we do. They even use an e-locks to come and tow our car. So yeah. So those are some of the things I saw in her story and all that. But yeah, I'm interested to know what more. And like she said, she's very dramatic and all that. No hate to her, just me pointing out and trying to clear up some of the things she said about Nigeria, because I'm in Nigeria. Obviously, I'm going to clear up some things. So yes, so um I really wish that she didn't have to really drag a lot of the things with the husband's people and all that, because to them, like I said initially, they still don't consider her as a wife. She's still more like a fiance, a girlfriend, not a wife, because they've not done the traditional rite or the diary, and they were not even at our civil wedding and all that. So yeah, that let me just leave it here on that. So but hey, please go down in the comment section, share your thought. Love to know what you think about this story time so far. So we're going to do the next part, and then we'll come back and talk more. Go on and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. Okay, so go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that, and I'll see you guys in part 4.